Hi, hello. This is Dr. Shanti, Professor from Department of Management Studies of Erode Sengundar Engineering College, Perundurai. So today I'm just going to discuss over here the basic topics of business research methods, where it will start from what is the process of research and it will end what are the statistical tools which can be used. So my plan of presentation, it goes in this way. First, I'm just going to discuss the process of quantitative research, where we will be seeing what are the steps which are involved in research and what are the types of data, how a questionnaire should be, what are the contents of the questionnaire, and what are the types of variables which exist in a research, and that too especially in social science research. And we will be seeing the 4 levels of management which are very important in analyzing the data during our research. We will be seeing what is parametric and non-parametric test, because generally whenever we go for any analysis, either we will be using some parametric test or else non-parametric test. Then finally, how to code the data. See, before coming and analyzing into a software, we need to code the data. First, we can do a coding in Excel. Then we can use the same one in SPSS software, right? Now, research starts from problem identification. So until and unless a problem exists, there is no need of research. Okay, so what is research? Research is nothing but it is a systematic analysis of data to find a solution to the existing problem. So that is research. So after there exists a problem, we are trying to find a solution by doing some research. So it starts from formulating a research problem. Formulating a research problem, it means that we are trying to identify a problem, and for that particular problem we are trying to give some solutions. Now second one, determine the study objectives. So once a problem is identified, next we will proceed with objectives. What is the need of these objectives? These objectives, it will gain familiarity with the phenomenon so that we can achieve some new insights. And it is also helpful to study about a particular situation or to solve a problem that is from unknown to known. And there are many other objectives also, like the characteristics of a particular individual or a situation or a group can be studied by means of research. So once a problem is being identified and after that the objectives are being determined or framed, the very next step comes the review of literature. So what is review of literature? Review of literature means it is studying about the past periods. Okay. We study what happened in the past regarding our or related to our particular issue or particular problem which we have found out. Okay. So that is review of literature. So what is the need of this review of literature? It will help to bring clarity and focus the research problem. It will improve the methodology. It will broaden our knowledge, like that. Now, how this review of literature can be collected? So this review of literature can be collected by various ways. There are 2 primary sources. One is primary data and the other one is secondary data. So what is primary data? Primary data is the data which is collected for the first time that is called as primary data. The data which is already existing, that is called as secondary data. For example, if we are collecting some information or some data using the questionnaire or using interview schedule or by means of observation, all these things will come under the primary data. Now what is secondary data? See, secondary data, as I already said, if we are collecting the data or using the information which is already existing, like in books, in journals, in internet, with the help of some conference proceedings, some government or corporate reports, or from the thesis and dissertations which is available in various libraries. So all those, the bank statements, the balance sheet of organization, all these reports, all these statements, they will come under the secondary data. Now developing a conceptual framework. Now what is a conceptual framework? A conceptual framework it is a figure which will tell us what is influencing what, like which variable is being influenced by which variable. For example, service quality is influenced by customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction is influenced by customer loyalty. In other way, we can also tell like this also, like service quality leads to customer satisfaction leads to customer loyalty. Like this also, in this way also we can put. So a conceptual framework is nothing but it will tell like the pathway is moving in which direction, that. Now once a conceptual framework is framed, generally how we framework the conceptual framework, how we develop or how we go for a conceptual framework, it is based on the review of literature, because from the review of literature we will come to know what are the independent variables, what are the dependent variables. So based on that we will go for a conceptual framework. So once the conceptual framework is ready, then we can formulate or frame the hypothesis. But like this hypothesis leads to this, like that. Service quality is influenced by customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction is influenced by customer loyalty. Like that, we will formulate few hypotheses. Now, once the hypotheses are formulated, we need to go for research design. Which type of research design we should use? Whether it needs to be descriptive, whether it needs to be exploratory, whether it needs to be causal research. So, all these things we should ensure. So once it is also ready, like the research design is also ready, then we should specify the population. We should decide what is our population, how much sample we are going to take out of that population, right? Whether that population is finite or infinite, all these details we have to collect. So once the population is ready, then we need to develop the tool. Here the tool means the tool which is used to collect the data, that is questionnaire or interview schedule. How you are going to collect the data? How you are going to frame a questionnaire? So the tool here means questionnaire. So once a questionnaire is developed, then we can go for pilot study. So what is pilot study? See, it is not possible to collect the data at a stretch, because there may be some reliability issues, some normality issues, validity issues, Like that, there would be many issues, right? So, after collecting all these sample, after collecting the data from all the respondents, if we come to know like where we are held up, whether we are having the problem of reliability, validity or normality, then we will be in trouble, because it's a waste of money, it's a waste of energy, it's a waste of time, right? So for that purpose, to avoid that hectic issue or stress, we go for a pilot study. So it means a part of the population, for example, if my sample size is somewhere around 400, I can go for a pilot study with 50 respondents. So once I collect the data from the respondents, like even while collecting the data, the respondent may, he or she, they may also give some suggestions to the researcher, like these items or these questions are repeating, or this question can be asked in this way. Like that, they may also give some suggestions. But generally, even before going for the pilot data, definitely the researcher will get okay from the experts of that particular industry, or from any senior academician, or the supervising level or the managerial level who deals with that particular problem. So those experts, academicians, like before going for a pilot study, we can get an okay from them also. Okay, like once we conduct pilot study, then we can check the normality of the data, the reliability of the data. So the normality of the data can be checked using like skewness, kurtosis, using the graph also, whether we are getting a bell-shaped curve or not, with the help of a histogram. Also we will come to know whether the data is normal or not, or we can go for Kolmogorov-Smirnov test, which will also tell us whether our data is normal or not. And regarding reliability, if we talk about reliability, we can go for Cronbach alpha, we can do reliability analysis, and we can find out whether and the reliability analysis should be done for each and every item. Generally, some of the researchers, what they do is, they'll go for a particular variable, but it should be done for each and every item of a particular variable. So once the Cronbach alpha value is greater than 0.7, it means the reliability of the data is good, right? Next is our validity. So if we are doing analysis using SPSS AMOS, that is SEM, if we are doing through the structural equation modeling, if we want to test the SEM model, we can use either PLS, partial least square, or else we can use this AMOS also, right? This AMOS is a covariance based, and this PLS, it is a variance based analysis. It's a when we talk about PLS and AMOS, like PLS is very flexible, user friendly, but AMOS is a little bit less user friendly when compared to PLS. Okay, and at a stretch we will get all the answers from PLS. But as far as AMOS is concerned, it will take time, and there are some procedures, step-by-step procedures are also there. Okay. So once a pilot study is carried out, then we need to select the samples. Okay, so the sample selection, for example, we have to decide previously we will decide the sample size also, right? So how we can select the sample size? If we know the population, then we can collect the sample, we can determine the sample size using the formula n is equal to z into s divided by e the whole square, where z is the standard estimate whose value is 1.96, s is a standard deviation of the data which you have collected using the pilot study, and E is the error term, where as far as social science is concerned, we keep the error term at 5%. Like 5%, up to 5% error is acceptable as far as social science research is concerned. Right? So based on some formula, there are even like internet sample size estimator is there which will help without making much more stress. We can directly go for this sample size estimator which is available in online, or you can do manually also. Then we will distribute the questionnaire, or through interview schedule we can collect the data. Once the data is collected, then the data is prepared for analysis, which is where we do coding, decoding, all these things, labeling, all these things we will do for the collected data. Like there we will be cleaning the data. It is nothing but cleaning of data. If sometimes what we do, if the data is incomplete by one respondent, either we will remove the data, or in that or in a particular box, what we will do in a particular cell, it can be replaced by the mean value also. We can input the mean value into that also, so that like most of the data doesn't get wasted, right? Next is analysis and interpretation. Now analyzing the data. See, once the data has been collected, that means it is ready for data analysis and interpretation. So first we need to analyze the data using the statistical tools. If it is, there are certain tools for parametric, for a normal data. If the data is abnormal, if it is not a normal distribution, then we need to go for non-parametric test. Like that, there are parametric and non-parametric, and based on the variable also. For example, there are certain tests which will come under, we call it as univariate test. If two variables are there, we will go for bivariate test. If more than two variables exist, then we will go for multivariate test. For example, univariate test. Here we can go for chi-square test, one sample t-test, all these things. If it is two variables, we can go for ANOVA and paired t-test, like that, and all we can do. If it is a multivariate analysis, we can go for regression, correlation, discriminant analysis, cluster analysis, content analysis, based on the objectives of the study. We need to do analysis, or we need to select the analyzing tool. And once analysis is over, then we will interpret, we will come out with findings, we will give some suggestions, and finally we will conclude. That by that way the research ends. Now there are, as I already said, there are two types of data. One is primary data and the other one is secondary data. Now let us see, before entering into the main topic, let us see some basic concepts. We should know what is population, what is sample, what is variable, what is parameter, and what is statistic, right? Now what is population. See, we know generally what we will do, we will study the sample. Okay, we will not do a study of population because it's of like huge size, no? So because of that. Now, what is population? See, it is a collective individual or collective objects under our study. All the respondents, all the individuals, all the objects or all the items under study is called as population, which is denoted by capital N. Now, what is a sample? A sample is nothing but it is a part of a population, right? It's a subset of a population which is denoted by small n. Now, let us see what is a variable. Any characteristics of an object or an individual or an event is called as a variable. For example, if I want to know the marks of a class, the height of students, the weight of girls, satisfaction level of customers, stress level of employees, how loyal the employees are to their management. So these are the height, weight, the satisfaction level, the stress level, the weight, all these are the variables. So any characteristics of an individual or an event or an object is called as a variable. Now, what is a parameter? It is the characteristics of the population. If I am studying the characteristics of a population, it is called as parameter. If I just want to study the characteristics of a sample, then it is called as statistic. Okay. Now let us see what are the methods which are available to collect the primary data. So the primary data can be collected by 4 methods, right? Interview, questionnaires and surveys, observation and experiments. See, mostly the experiments will be carried out in laboratory. Especially the science stream is there, no? The science stream people, they will go for these experiments. And observation. See, observation is a very important tool where the respondent will not will not come to know that he is being observed. So the data which is collected, there are more chances of getting a quality and an unbiased data. If we collect questionnaire or interview schedules or surveys, there are chances of getting false information. Okay. But when we talk about experiments, even in experiments also some manipulation can be done. But when we talk about this observation, it is a good tool if you want the data to be free from any error. Now let us see what are the tools which are available for analyzing the data. We can go for simple mean, that is the arithmetic mean, chi-square test, independent sample t-test, or which is called as Leibniz t-test also. We have one sample t-test, we have paired t-test, ANOVA, one-way ANOVA, two-way ANOVA, MANOVA, Manakova, like that there are many types under that. And factor analysis, there is exploratory factor analysis, and we have confirmatory factor analysis also. When we go for structural equation modeling, that time we will go for CFA, which is called as confirmatory factor analysis. Then we have cluster analysis, discriminant analysis, correspondence analysis, content analysis, regression, correlation, all those things. And there are few softwares, there are a number of softwares for doing analysis, but as far as social science is concerned, we have Strata, SPSS, ListRail, Excel, and we have Grittle. That is also a software where we use the panel data, time series data, we use that one. And we have this PLS, that is also there. So these are the software packages which are used to analyze the social science data. Now when we talk about the contents of a questionnaire, there will be generally two type of contents. One which will be related to the variable, the other one which will related or which will measure the items, which will measure the variable, which will be helpful in measuring the variable. And we will also have the demographic profile or demographic details of the respondents. For example, age, gender, income, marital status, family status, total number of family members, income, experience, educational qualifications, all those will come under the demographic details. So always after in a questionnaire, after the title, there may be a small introduction about the researcher, like where the researcher is associated, why he wants to collect the data, all those things will be there. After the demographic, the part A will be demographic. Then after that it will continue. Part B will have all the details about the variables which are under study. So like most importantly, if we classify the variables, they are independent and dependent variables. But it is not restricted to these two variables. Okay, we have like explanatory variable, co-founding variable, moderating variable, mediating variable. Like this, there are many other types of variables also. But most importantly, without independent and dependent variable, it is very difficult to go for a research. Now, before entering into any analysis, if you analyze any data either manually or using SPSS or any other tools, then we need to know the levels of measurement. How the data can be measured. Okay. Now there are 4 levels of measurement. They are nominal, ordinal, interval, ratio. So the level increases. The lower level is nominal, the next level is ordinal, after that we will have interval, then we will have ratio. So what is nominal variable? Nominal variable, it is nothing but a variable which is used for only identification purpose. They are also called as named variables. Nothing can be done using nominal variable. No analysis can be done using nominal variable. This nominal variable is just for identifying. For example, if a player, for example, let's take Sachin Tendulkar. If he is wearing a jersey of number 10, does it mean that he is the 10th player in the world or he is the 10th player in India? Like ranking. According to the ranking? No. It's not like that. But if I ask somebody, oh, who is wearing jersey number 10? Oh, that's Tendulkar, they'll say. So it is only for the identification purpose. And when we have a nominal data, then we can do only addition and subtraction. We can do only addition and subtraction. The next level is ordinal data. Ordinal data means it will be helpful in identifying the identification purpose, and also the data is ordered in some, either in the ascending order, in the descending order. For example, if I give 4 options in educational qualification, 10th, plus 2, UG, PG, it is a ordinal data because it is ordered. First SSLC, after completing SSLC, we need to go for 12th standard. After 12th standard, we need to go for UG. After completing UG, then only you can go for PG. So it is an ordered data. Either it can be in ascending order or descending, whatever it is, but it is going in an order. Here we can do central tendency. We can go for mean, median, mode. All these analysis can be done with the help of ordinal data. Even the salary is also an ordinal data, and your Likert scale, that scale is also an ordinal data. So now let us move on to the next level of data, which is interval data. Now what is an interval data? An interval data is nothing but it will have named variable, the variables are ordered, and the ordered data is having equal proportion between them. For example, between 1 centimeter, so between 1 meter to another meter, there will be equal 100 centimeters. Right? That is it. And for example, if it is if you take money also, okay, if you take weight also, these are interval because they have equal intervals. Next, let us go for ratio, where named, it is ordered, it will have interval, and it will have absolute 0. For example, if it is 0 kg means nothing is there. Okay. So it will have absolute 0 value. 0 income means he doesn't get any income. Right? So that is ratio scale where you can do all sort of analysis. Next, let us proceed. Like here is given nominal, for example, marital status. In marital status, like for male you will give 1, for female you will code as 2. Eye color, if it is black color 1, blue color 2, brown color 3. So it doesn't make any sense. It is not ranked, but it is we are giving some names, some codes to the names. Ordered. So here satisfaction level, high level, low level, medium level, like that. So nominal and ordinal. Generally, when we do any analysis with SPSS, there will be only 3 levels: nominal, ordinal, and scale. Their ratio will not be there. So, nominal and ordinal, they will be used for qualitative analysis. When we want to do any quantitative analysis, that time we will go for this scale level of management. Okay, so here starts, we will start a pilot study with 30 to 50 samples. It may be 100 samples also. As and when your sample size increases, the pilot study will also increase. You will go for initial reliability, you will finalize the questionnaire, then you will go for survey, then again you will test the final reliability. You will go for checking all the assumptions, for example, normality, homogeneity, multicollinearity. Like homogeneity and all you can do with this, for example, which test is there for doing this homogeneity? I'll tell you. But for multicollinearity, you can go for this regression. Regression will tell whether your data is multicollinear or not. But many a times, the people who do analysis using finance, for that financial analysis and all, multicollinearity is being checked, right? And we will test the validity also. So normality, reliability, validity, these are the three important assumptions which we need to check. And in validity, we will check the unidimensionality, discriminant validity, phase validity, content validity, convergent validity. All these things we will. Now, what is the difference between parametric and non-parametric test? Generally, I said the tests are divided into parametric, non-parametric, univariate, bivariate, multivariate. Like that, there are many ways by which the test can be divided. Right? Now, parametric means when you know the population parameters. If the population parameters are known to you, or else you can come in other way also. If the sample, if there's a normal distribution, then you can go for parametric. If you get a bell-shaped curve in the histogram, then we can go for parametric test. Now non-parametric. Non-parametric, generally when we will go for non-parametric, when our data is not normally distributed and we are not aware of the population parameters. For example, in non-parametric we will go for Wilcoxon, we will go for KS test. In case of parametric, we will go for ANOVA, chi-square, correlation, regression, all these things. About the details of how, which test should be used for what measure and how we need to frame the hypothesis, which term we should use to frame a hypothesis. Okay. Now, what is hypothesis? Hypothesis, it is nothing but, we are framing, see, we don't know the unknown population, we don't know the parameter of the population, so we are assuming that it will be like this only, okay. So that assumption of the sample of the population, that assumption of the unknown population, assumption regarding the statement of the unknown population is called as hypothesis. Generally, there are two types of hypothesis. One is null hypothesis and the other one is called as alternate hypothesis. So, Null hypothesis means, as I said, it is a statement regarding the unknown parameters of the population, right? Always the null hypothesis will tell, null means nil or no, right? So it will tell that there is no relationship between the variable, like there is no difference between two variables, two or more variables. There is no relationship between two or more variables. There is no influence of one variable on another variable. Like that, the null hypothesis will be framed. Now, what is the alternate hypothesis? The contradictory of null hypothesis is called as alternative hypothesis. For example, if I am saying that there is no difference between the genders with regard to their awareness level towards the software, that is a null hypothesis. If I say there is a difference, if there is no difference, it is null hypothesis. If there is a difference, it is alternate hypothesis. Now, hypothesis testing. Again, always in social science, definitely there will be error. Since we are not doing the analysis in laboratory, we collect the data from the respondents. We know the respondents are human beings. There may be chances of biased responses. So, we assume that a maximum of 5% of error can be accepted. Now, there are two types of error. One is type 1 error and the other one is type 2 error. When a type 1 error occurs, a type 1 error exists when we reject a null hypothesis when it is true. See, the null hypothesis is true, but by mistake I have rejected null hypothesis. That is called as type 1 error. Now, what is type 2 error? Type 2 error is nothing but we accept null hypothesis when we were supposed we need to reject, but we accepted it. Okay. That a false null hypothesis, if you accept a false null hypothesis, it is called as type 2 error. Type 1 error is denoted by alpha. Type 2 error is denoted by beta. Now, this is the formula which I already discussed to determine the sample size. Sample size is equal to Z into S divided by E the whole square, where Z is a standard estimate whose value is 1.96. S is the sample deviation, the standard deviation from the pilot study. E is the acceptable error. So, this is the formula which is given in C.R. Kothari book, Research Methodology by C.R. Kothari. The publisher is New Age International Publishers, New Delhi. So, you can refer, it is there in page number 175 and 176. Now, let us see what are the stages in data analysis. See, after the data is collected, we need to edit the data. Once the data is edited, we go for coding. If meanwhile we check the error and we do some verification and all, after giving coding 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, we will give some codes, right, for easy identification. Once coding is over, we will go for data entry. And after data entry, we will go for analysis. The analysis may be descriptive analysis. Descriptive analysis is nothing but where we will try to find out mean, median, mode, variance, skewness, kurtosis, range, all these tools will come under the descriptive analysis. That is frequency table. We call it as once we go for descriptive analysis, we will come up with a frequency table where mean, median, mode, variance, skewness, kurtosis, quartile deviation, range, all these things will be percentile, everything will be there. Univariate analysis, bivariate analysis, multivariate analysis. After we do this analysis, we will go for interpreting the data. We will go for interpretation, whether to accept null hypothesis or reject null hypothesis. If the probability value is less than 0.05, we will reject null hypothesis and accept alternate hypothesis. If the p-value is greater than 0.05, we will accept null hypothesis and reject alternate hypothesis. Now here is the concept of p-value. Right, if the p-value is between 0.000 to 0.010, it is highly significant. We need to tell that there is a high significant difference or relationship or high influence which will indicate that we need to reject null hypothesis at 1% level of significance, which will be shown by 2 star, 2 asterisk marks. If the p-value is between 0.011 to 0.050, then we reject null hypothesis at 5% level of significance, which is significant. If the p-value is between 0.051 to 1, no star, which means we will accept null hypothesis at 5% level and it is not significant. See, always if you get the p-value as 0.000, you should convert it, change the p-value as 0.001, because 0.00 doesn't make any sense, right? Now I have shown the data coding, socio-demographic profile, where your age, gender, educational qualification, income, salary, incomes. When you open a SPSS software, the very first thing is you have to upload the data. You have to upload the Excel sheet. Once the Excel sheet is uploaded, then there are 2 views. One is variable view, the other one is data view. In data view, you will feed all the data. Like once it is uploaded, it will automatically come. It will be a numerical data, right? The data view will have numerical data. So it will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whatever coding you have given, we will get that only. As I said, there are 2 views. One is data view and the other one is variable view. In the data view, all the data which were in Excel sheet, that will be copied and pasted. It will get pasted over there. In the variable view, you need to explain the variables. Okay. So what are the options which you have used to measure that particular variable? What is the level of measurement, whether it is a nominal, ordinal, scale, and how you have given coding. For example, for male you have given 1 or for female you have given 1. All those details you have to provide in your this sheet. Okay, you should take care. In the variable view, the first column, it will not accept any spacing between one word to another word. It will not accept any space. Okay, but in label, there will be a column called as label that will accept the spaces. So this is how we do coding and we do analysis using the SPSS software. So now, if in our next video, I'll continue with this. So thank you very much. For any query, you can contact me through my mail ID, which is shantirmba@esec.ac.in. Thank you. There are two